Three Florida nursing schools have been shut down after federal prosecutors charged the administrators of the schools and their co-conspirators with charging thousands of dollars for fake nursing degrees to thousands upon thousands of students. Let's have a look. This story first dropped in January of 2023 when the initial charges were filed against the administrators. According to an article in the New York Times, 7,600 fake nursing diplomas were sold in a scheme, United States says. More than 24 people have been charged in connection with a scheme in which fake nursing diplomas were sold to buyers who then used the credentials to obtain nursing licenses and jobs in healthcare settings across the country. The scheme involved the sale of more than 7,600 fake diplomas issued by 3 South Florida nursing schools, which have since closed: Siena College and Sacred Heart International Institute, both in Broward County, where I am, and Palm Beach School of Nursing in Palm Beach County. The 25 people charged this week include administrators of the Florida schools and administrators and affiliates of a series of nursing test prep academies in other states that recruited candidates to buy the fake diplomas. Buyers paid between $10,000 and $15,000 to obtain bogus diplomas and transcripts, indicating that they had earned legitimate degrees like the associate degree in nursing. That degree can take 2 years to complete. The diplomas and transcripts then allowed the buyers to qualify for the National Nursing Board exam. About 37% of those who bought the fake diplomas, or about 2,800 people, passed the exam. Among that group, a significant number then received nursing licenses and secured jobs in hospitals and other healthcare settings. So fast forward then to May of this year, and the U.S. Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office, issued a press release entitled "Guilty Pleas in Fraudulent Nursing Diploma Scheme." According to the press release, 5 of the dozens of defendants charged in the Southern District of Florida for their alleged participation in a scheme that created an illegal licensing and employment shortcut for aspiring nurses have pleaded guilty to wire fraud conspiracy. During the guilty plea hearings before U.S. District Judge Rag Singhal, D. Lopez, Lajeunesse, Sheed, and St. Preux admitted to soliciting and recruiting people who sought nursing credentials that would allow them to work as registered, licensed practical or vocational nurses. They also admitted to working with Palm Beach School of Nursing to create and distribute fraudulent diplomas and transcripts representing that the aspiring nursing candidates had attended the school and completed the necessary courses. In fact, the aspiring nurses had not completed the courses and clinicals. Kay Lopez admitted that in her role as Palm Beach School of Nursing's finance director, she processed applications for individuals who were issued fraudulent nursing school diplomas and transcripts, and that each student paid the school $15,000 for the documents. The defendants all admitted to profiting from the scam. So essentially what you have is a scheme by which these schools were selling these fake diplomas to potential nurses. Now, some of these people were already nurses and had lesser degrees and were going back to school to get an education for a higher degree so that they could get higher pay, greater benefits, things of that nature. But essentially the scheme involved getting them these RN degrees or other higher degrees so that they could then go work in a healthcare setting, taking care of people who ended up in the hospital, even though the students hadn't passed the necessary coursework or done the necessary clinicals to procure such a degree. Now, the original New York Times article did indicate that there are no known incidents with respect to these nurses committing any type of malpractice or any type of adverse health effects with respect to any of the nurses who did obtain these fake diplomas and went on to work in healthcare settings, that there were adverse health effects to the patients. However, the callousness with which these administrators went about this scheme, and the potential devastating effect this could have had on patients is mind-boggling. However, there is another side to the story, and that is the side of the nurses themselves who were procuring these fake degrees. And an article here in the nursejournal.org, it says nurses in fake nursing degree scandals say their education is legitimate. Approximately $114 million of fake nursing diplomas were sold to roughly 7,600 students from 3 formally accredited schools in South Florida. $114 million was generated off of this scheme. Some students are fighting the state nursing boards in which they received licensure to requalify for their license, claiming they didn't even know it was a scam. School officials who pled guilty claimed to have solicited and recruited potential students who attended classes and clinicals. According to this article, in May 2023, the five of the 27 people pled guilty to wire fraud charges. But the article goes on to say that many nurses caught in this scandal don't feel like they took a shortcut. By mid-year 2023, more stories from nurses surfaced, recounting traveling back and forth to Florida to attend classes, completing courses online, and completing clinicals and simulations or at local hospitals with experienced nurses. Ramatu Ali from Delaware is one of those nurses. She and 4 friends who were licensed practical nurses attended an open house in the Philadelphia area to learn more about the Palm Beach School of Nursing after Ali received a flyer at her home. They were promised an associate's degree within 12 months based on their past college credits. Before enrolling, Ali told the Inquirer that she and her friends checked out the school, which at the time was approved by the Florida Board of Nursing and in good standing. "We did everything we were supposed to do," Ali said. "I went to school, I did the work." Ali said she didn't know how the Florida school got her address. To be admitted, she passed a criminal background check and took an entrance exam. Although much of the coursework was online, she traveled to Florida roughly 5 times. One problem with Ali's program was that it was only approved for face-to-face instruction and not distance learning, which she did not know. Ali passed the NCLEX on the second try in 2020 and got her RN license in Delaware. By November 2022, she received a letter informing her that her license had been annulled. Like other nurses involved, Ali is now working under her original LPN license for less money and no health benefits. So, according to Ali, she had no idea that this fraud was going on, that this scheme to extract money for fake degrees was going on, and that she attended classes, clinicals, everything that she was supposed to do to get her nursing degree. And now that degree has been stripped from her because of other activities that she was unaware of that arose at the school. So the question becomes, now that the guilty parties have been found out, and now that punishment is being exacted against them, should punishment be exacted against the students who unwittingly were participants in this larger scheme? And that kind of is an open question. So with respect to Ali, for 2 years, she was practicing as a registered nurse. So arguably her clinicals were done through her work at whatever hospital or healthcare institution she was working at. And the fact that she was essentially in good standing that entire time means that she was probably doing her job well. So to go back and strip her of the increased pay and the health benefits doesn't seem like it's necessarily right, but again, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily wrong either, given that the credentials are based on a degree from an institution that was doing something wrong. She was doing distance learning at a school that she shouldn't have been doing distance learning at. So it's an open question. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How should these nurses be handled with respect to this entire situation? For now, my name is Nathan Saunders, and this is The Legal Good.